So thumbs up.
Okay. All right, we're back. So we are ready for another session. I am back. I know I just took a little lunch break. So I think most of you know me by now, at least. I've hosted a few of these. So I'm Matt. I'm a developer advocate at Twitch, and you also probably know Nick, but he's in a similar role as an evangelist at Amazon, at AWS, and we have this new special guest that's awkwardly sitting
Hi.
a few chairs
Yeah, no,
away.
I
And this is a
figured
very awkward
that
setup.
I should maybe sit a little
Yes.
closer. So
He's just that important. He gets his own
So did you
entire
tweet
desk.
that you're on? From
I did. The guys tweeted it from Notify.
Okay,
And
cool.
I believe they're also sending out a notification on Notify on
They
my account
should.
for me to this.
So yeah, so this is really special. So this is Jamie Pine. Do you want to give an intro?
Hi.
Oh, we have like fans.
Do I? Oh
We've
my
got-
God. Okay.
We've got folks in chat
But-
hearing your name. We've got folks in the real
If one of
studio
them
audience.
wants to just come behind the chairs, they can.
Oh no, they're fine
Okay.
down there. They are
So
so
take some
fine
photos.
down
Yeah,
there.
you should take some photos. Okay, so Jamie, introduce yourself. Like, tell us all about how you came to be at TwitchCon.
Okay, yeah, so I've been a YouTuber since I was like 16, and I've always wanted to get into Twitch, but for me, I'm not a very good gamer. I like
You're
to think
not.
I am.
So
but-
what did you do on YouTube?
Vlogs, anything really, like musical parodies, commentary. I tried pretty much everything there is to try on YouTube over the years that I was doing it.
That's a broad statement.
Yeah, well, not everything. Okay, no, no Spider-Man and else. But so I tried getting into programming several times, and I never really, I just didn't have I just couldn't. I wasn't that good at it for quite a while until I came up with this idea for this platform, and then I was actually streaming on Twitch a game called Darwin Projects, and I'm there thinking it's going to be the next Fortnite. So I'm like, I'm going to get in early and start playing this game, and then I wasn't getting any viewers. I think I got most 2 viewers streaming that game, but for the majority of the time I had 0. And that's actually, while I was playing that game, what sparked the idea for Notify. Is I had a lot of subscribers on YouTube. I figured, why can't I like directly send my Twitch stream to my subscriber base? And it kind of hit me that I don't own that subscriber base. It belongs to YouTube, and they get to decide what it's worth. And so the kind of idea to have a way to subscribe to creators that is kind of on top of all the platforms, so that then you have that freedom of feeling like you own your audience, and that just filled my mind in that point, and I had a burst of motivation. I managed to get the domain notify.me, and once I got that, it was just all cards in, and my parents were telling me I needed to get a job, because I'm living with my parents at this point, and so I'm like, how am I going to afford to do this? I guess it just popped in. I hadn't actually watched any dev streams before. I just figured, why don't I just stream me doing it? Because
But when
that
did
would
you
be
learn
fun.
to code at this time?
I wasn't. I was actually even streaming me, like, learning. I was following tutorials. The first streams I was doing, I was following a tutorial on how to make a REST API in Node.
I think what's the most impressive is you went from not knowing how to code to, 8 months later, you built a JavaScript library called
PulseJS.
Do you want to talk to us
No,
about
I
what
would.
Pulse is?
I'd love to. Honestly, for me, it's my guilty pleasure working on Pulse. It's a very nerdy thing, and most of my followers don't understand it, because a lot of them aren't programmers. But to me, it's such an exciting thing. It's a little bit of it's open source, obviously, but it's a little bit of competition to Redux and Vuex. It's a state management library, but it's kind of a little bit more than that. It's kind of it handles all the application logic, and you can build a functioning application in Pulse and then just operate it from the JavaScript console. And then you can use any library like Vue or React Native just to build like dumb components. So the way we've done that, because we're using React Native to build our mobile app, we just so happen to already be using Vue on web. We couldn't find, like, Vue Native sucks, honestly. So we wanted to use React Native, and so Pulse was the best option to kind of build one code base and call it the core, and put the core in browser extension, web app, React Native, and it functions so great in all of them that it's it's
So
awesome.
Vue doesn't have that like data management like
They do. They have Vuex, but
I
it's built on top of Vue,
I see.
so you need to be using Vue.
Yeah, so basically by using Pulse, you have that as your state management core that
Yeah.
it will behave consistently regardless of whether you're using React or
And
Vue.
Pulse has everything from built-in. It replaces Axios, and so it does all of its fetch. It has a
has
request
HTTP
handler.
libraries,
Yeah,
all that,
it
okay.
handles sockets. It handles everything. And it's all native, so it has no dependencies either. So, and I built that. I started it in January. It can be, some people can look at it and think, oh, that's some tech debt, having to maintain your own library as well as building a company. But it's to be honest, it's a lot of fun for me and helped me learn JavaScript immensely. I feel like after working with Pulse, I have such a deep understanding of JavaScript that I would not have had just working with the framework from the front perspective.
And folks in the community can contribute to
Of
Pulse,
course.
right?
This is a call out. Please contribute to Pulse. It needs tests. I have not written many tests. If you could write some tests, that would be brilliant. Thank you.
Is there a GitHub repo for it? I mean,
Yeah.
so
It's just Jamie Pine /Pulse.
I'll get that and drop it in chat.
No, that's
Sorry.
awesome. I'm just trying to like understand those, because there are other alternatives to Redux. So
Yeah.
there's one called Nuclear.js. Do you know about that?
Never heard of it.
No, but essentially there's a lot of these different. Like, why not use another off-the-shelf?
Because I wanted to build my own.
Sometimes the act of building it yourself just helps you understand it
Did you start
better.
from some other library that you
I was using
forked?
Vuex, and I had a choice. Either
okay.
switch to Redux, and when I read the documentation to Redux, it didn't fit. It felt like we had to write so much more code to accomplish what we want.
Sure.
And so most of the code, so little code is actually needed to make a functioning app with Pulse, because a lot of it is under the hood in Pulse. So
Totally.
It's really an out-of-the-box solution.
So if I were to start with like Facebook, create a React app, and use Pulse, I could get up and running pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, it's very quick, especially like with it follows best practices right out of the box. So like data normalization, Pulse is like think about it like an ORM for the front end. It's each module, or we call them collections, it has an internal database in which you collect data back from an API. So you make a REST call, get a bunch of data back, and then collect it into a Pulse collection. And then it's stored inside Normalize, and it has the index and everything. So then you can access it. You can use find by ID and all sorts of stuff to interface with that data really, really effectively. And it's intelligent with dependency management and relations. So it handles. It's quite, when you really get into it, it does some really cool things.
That's awesome. Some people are throwing around TypeScript. I feel like that's
it's written in TypeScript.
Sort of a buzzword. Okay.
Yeah, it's I just rewrote it Pulse v2 in TypeScript, and it's about to be. I'm about to push the merge soon.
So that's an interesting talking point, right? So
Right.
what was your motivation behind refactoring to TypeScript?
Well, my chat were bullying me for not using TypeScript for one.
Wow.
And
Can't cave to peer pressure, man.
no,
I mean,
Jamie's
but for
dad?
real, I am.
Your
Oh,
dad?
my dad's in the chat.
Jamie's dad is here. Wow.
Oh my God, is he actually in the
Oh,
chat?
it
oh,
says
someone's saying
Jamie's my
Jamie is
dad.
their dad.
Oh, okay.
So,
I wouldn't be surprised. My dad's in my streams quite often. No, well, honestly, they were right, because TypeScript is when you're writing a library that's as complex with a lot of things, like you can write spaghetti code very quickly, and so
I love
having being able to see what type everything is like when you start writing TypeScript, you almost can't go back. It's so helpful for maintaining the code, and for other developers coming in to understand your code. It forces you to write maintainable code as opposed to just code.
I feel like the one major fallback of TypeScript that I've seen is like the unhelpful compilation errors sometimes.
Oh yeah, no.
That's like the notorious side of it.
Yeah.
But anyone who I know who has spent a decent amount of time with TypeScript and gets really familiar with it has said really good things about it. And like you said, like a lot of folks that then go into TypeScript don't find too many reasons to go back after they've mastered it.
You become it gives you that a few extra little handy things, like being able to automatically define parameters into a class and have them already accessible as this dot straight off the bat. Like you don't have that in regular JS, and it's just you'll find your constructor is just this dot thing equals then the parameter you passed into the class. Whereas in TypeScript you can just have it defined as it straight as it comes into the constructor, and that's it's stuff that you just can't go back from.
Should we see if there's any questions in the chat? So for folks who are just joining us, Jamie's story is really neat, because you essentially dropped out of YouTube streaming and you
dropped out. Yeah, I'm a YouTube
You're
dropout.
a YouTube dropout. I mean, and essentially you put everything into this company. You're 8 people now.
Yes.
If any of you have seen the HBO show Silicon Valley, they're kind of living that life. They just moved to a house in LA, and there's 8 of them, and they're all working full time, and you have funding, and they're working on Notify Me.
Yeah, it's exciting.
A lot of it is in the Twitch ecosystem, but I know you're working with other platforms as well.
Yeah, no, we're trying to be compatible with all platforms. We just want to be this unbiased solution to build up a subscription base on a platform that's just built just to deliver content from other platforms. It's like Postmates for content.
Actually, so Nick interviews a lot of AWS startups, right? You and Nikki have that show?
Cool.
Yeah. You guys are not on AWS,
No,
right?
we're on Google Cloud.
Okay.
And it's purely a UI thing.
Interesting. We should chat
I thought
after.
they also.
Yeah?
I thought
Yeah,
they gave you more
definitely.
credits.
Well,
Or what do you mean by a UI thing?
I'm just not a fan of the AWS UI over Google.
Okay.
Google's UI for their cloud solution is pretty good, but as well, I think it might be more expensive than AWS. I'm not sure, but either way, it was
to Nick offline.
Yeah,
we'll
I will
chat.
talk about that.
Then we'll have you
Because
back on.
you
and
should
we'll-
have
But
him
we
He
use
has a really
AWS
cool
for our
show.
emails as well.
Oh,
So, yeah,
SNS.
something like that.
Yeah.
My system
SES.
admin does that.
SES
Shout out to
for email.
Dustin.
But anyway, yeah, wait. So can we share just a really neat story? I think, Nick, you'll find this really cool. Can you talk about how you got the notified domain, or is that?
I can talk about it, but I
Okay.
can't say who it was.
You can?
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I can't say who it was.
Okay.
But
Okay.
so I
The
at this
story
point,
is incredible.
this was in June, and I had just started following tutorials and figuring out that I was super excited. I'm launching this company. I have a great idea. I'm telling all these YouTubers about it that I've met over the years, and they're like, "This is genius. Build it, build it, build it, please." And I found that the first day I came up with the idea, the first thing I did was type in Notify and see if I could find a domain name. And I saw available Notify.me for at the time $39,000. And
39.
and I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to get that. Not a way. But I figured the only way I could do it is go around asking a bunch of YouTubers if they want to like go in 50-50 if they buy the domain. And no one really, they were like, great idea, but I mean, that's so much money for a domain, I can't do that. And so I was like, I'd lost all hope at this point. I'm sitting back in my chair and I'm scrolling my Twitter feed, and I happened to stumble upon someone I had mild interactions with on Twitter. And as somebody who is very much able to buy something like this, and I didn't ask him for it. I was like, hey, could you just buy this and keep it safe, and then one day when I can, I'll buy it off you. And if not, you could like totally sell it, because I'm sure like I'd maybe increase the value or something during the time having it, or maybe keep it. I don't know. And he was like, yeah, all right. So I was like, sorry, what?
And you've never met this person in person?
Twitter interaction.
It's I mean, most of the people.
Crazy. Someone on Twitter bought him a domain.
Well, they
for
bought the
40K.
domain to sit on, and then it was
as
like,
soon as the seller saw who it was, they put it up to $46,000. I'm not even kidding.
Oh.
Like
Wow.
literally, as soon as we tried to buy it, he was like, actually, no, it's like 46,000.
yeah.
That's such a cool story. It
Yeah.
shows like really the hustle.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about people who'd never met, my entire team were from my Twitch chat. I mean, I've built this entire platform on Twitch, and everybody that is working for Notify, even the co-founders, all came from my chat.
So
And
yeah, that's another cool. Yeah.
yeah, the whole company, from day one of literally coming up with the idea to actually like being here, raising funding, and moving an entire team of people out to America, like, has been streamed on Twitch. We have all the VODs. In fact, my dad is mailing me an encrypted hard drive, I think 6 terabytes of all of the VODs. He made a copy of them, and I want them out here in LA so we can like cut them into, because we're going to make a series about the development of Notify, kind of like a comedy Silicon Valley / documentary kind of thing. And we want to intercut clips and like callbacks to some of the VODs because it's the bulk of the story.
So much is going
That's
on.
awesome,
They're
yeah.
building a startup. They're in LA. They've hired a videographer to make a series of them. You gotta be on
They're
his
making
show.
their own autobiography
Yeah.
as they're building
Yeah.
the company at the same time.
Right, it's a lot of fun.
It's crazy. Notify. What other platforms will you be on?
What platforms
Like
do?
integrations, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we currently support, we support any platform manually, so you can paste a link to, we have a whitelisted list of like 60 plus platforms that are whitelisted. But in terms of like direct integration, we have integration with Twitch, obviously, YouTube, Twitter. We're working with Mixer and DLive to get those integrations. And yeah, we're just going to try and reach out to as many great companies as possible and just try and work with them, because at the end of the day our platform just drives traffic to them. So
When do you get the app live? How can people in chat get it?
well, I mean, when it goes live, you should be able to just search Notify on the App Store and you'll be able to find it, or just go to notify.me. Notify.me. We also just got the domain sub.2 as well. So sub2 / Jamie is my sub2 link, and
Awesome.
we're gonna also try and partner with some creators too. And those sub2 links will be premium for certain creators.
What is this joke in chat? I don't.
What is happening right
Nuka
now?
fight.
Oh, you see, Nuka, that would be that man down there who is in the chat right now supporting. We love Nuka.
Dancing with the
you
crab
have
hat on.
you have like a fan base.
Wow.
Wow.
These guys are my friends, and that guy has been my friend on Discord, and I've never met him, and this is the first time I'm seeing him right now.
It is super
There he
crazy.
is,
TwitchCon bringing
in all of his
everyone.
But anyway, so this is super inspiring. Just like you are building this app. I don't know. It's super cool, and you're supporting Android, iOS, web right out.
Yeah, we're a browser extension and we're going to have a downloadable app for Windows and Mac for creators, as well as we'll be on iOS, Android, web, anywhere.
Yeah, so I think we should end there because I know Nick is gonna.
Yeah, I got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
I guess
Okay.
last send off for you is are you hiring? Is there any way people can get in touch with you?
We're not like explicitly looking, but at the same time, jobs@notify.me if you want to send an application in. If a talented developer comes along and they can offer something really great for us, we will absolutely look into it because we
That's
have
how
the room to scale. So.
That's what you need to do.
Small startups, it's like I was at a small startup before this, and it's like,
Of course.
you don't think about hiring all the time, but it's
Yeah.
like you kind of have to, and if someone comes along, you have to usually pick
It's
them
the
up.
right
And those
person.
graphic designers, UI designers are also I'm the only UI and graphics designer right now. So I've been doing all the logos and all the
you
UI
should be
and
meeting
sketch.
with
So.
investors and.
Oh no, I've done plenty of that. It's I'm excited to get back into the code part because the last 2 months have just been pure business and investors, and it's been fun, but also I miss just coding for hours and hours on end.
Totally.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, this
Cool,
has been sweet.
absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Okay.
Jamie Pine again from
Thank you.
Notify.me. Stick around. We'll be back in just a minute with some more exciting
Thoughts
content.
from you,
Cool.
right?
Yeah, I'll have
Appreciate
something. Yeah.